welcome to Spoil Your Appetite. I'm Tristan. Alrighty. How are you guys doing today? Me? I'm doing great. I'm doing just fine. So, as usual, talk about the old news and whatnot. But before I get into that, I just want to give a little update on the podcast. So, So for anyone that listens to the podcast on YouTube, I have some great news. So, the Spoil Your Appetite podcast is now available on Spotify. It's also available on Anchor. And thanks to Anchor, I am now, I believe, I'm not on Google yet. I'm not on Google Music yet. I don't know when I'll get to that, but I'm gonna look into it. But I am basically everywhere else. I mean, I believe I'm on iTunes. I wouldn't know because I don't use iTunes like ever. But I am on Spotify. I am on other stuff like Anchor, of course, like I said, and what else? I believe I'm also on Stitcher, and so that's exciting. But yeah, thanks to Anchor, I am now available on other like official podcast streaming platforms or whatever. So if you got Spotify, and you're tired of wasting your your battery life listening to my podcast or whatever, you can now enjoy the podcast. You can even go back and listen to some of the very first podcast episodes and whatnot and see how evolved this podcast has gone through. But yeah, just want to tell that, probably gonna plug that up more and more so that way just for the new listeners and whatnot. And yeah, I could be doing this podcast weekly. I mean, personally, I always felt doing the podcast was always like, for me personally, I just wanted to talk about, anything that I just felt like that was on my mind. Well, generally, entertainment news, movie news, or whatever. I just want to talk about. There are some things I don't talk about because I'm like, what's the point of throwing in my 2 cents or whatever? It's probably going to be the same as like everybody else or whatever. But yeah, I am now like on other stuff except for Google Music, which again, I'll have to look into that. But yeah, so I should be on iTunes again. I don't use iTunes, so I wouldn't know. So Apple users, type in Spoil Your Appetite onto your podcast and see what happens. See if I'm there. Let me know if I'm there. So that way I can, share it and whatnot. But yeah. So yeah, I'm on Spotify, which, is crazy. I'm on Stitcher and I'm on Anchor. And again, thanks to Anchor, I am now like on every other streaming service except for Google. But yeah, that's that. I remember signing up for Anchor or whatever, and posting all of my podcast episodes on there, and they would let me know in like 2 days that where my podcast will be streaming, and so there you go, people. So save your battery life and don't watch the podcast on YouTube if you want to. I'll still post it on YouTube and whatnot, but if you want to save the battery life on your phone, head over to Stitcher. Stitcher, Anchor, Spotify, whatever you want. So, yeah. Alrighty, with that being said, let's get on to the stuff I wanted to talk about today. So, it's an end of an era, guys, ladies and gentlemen. The Marvel Netflix shows are officially canceled. And, it had a good run. To me, Daredevil is still the best one. I think the second best would be Punisher, and I just finished Punisher a couple weeks ago, and I gotta say, season 2 of Punisher, it was great, wrapped up nicely, and it was good. I really enjoyed season 2. I really liked where they went with it, very, very violent. It wasn't as rough as the first season was, Whereas season 1 dealt with, all these military people have the PSD and all that business and dealing with those characters. And second season, drew that back. We know everyone's situation and we know where the characters left off and all this business. And, Punisher was great. Punisher season 1 and 2 are definitely, I would say, a watch. But of course, Daredevil being canceled and, personally, as much as it hurts, I'm actually okay with it because of the way they ended season 3. Felt like a nice wrap up, regardless of the little the little teaser for what would have happened next in season 4, which was Bullseye coming back and all that business. And season 3 was a great wrap up. Honestly, it felt like it's the end. Like, this is all the Daredevil we're gonna get, and I'm okay with that. We're not getting to season 4, but at the same time, I'm like, I would love to see where they went with season 4, because it's like, okay, because in season 3, it's all about Matt Murdock just wanting to be by himself. He's on his own, doesn't want anyone else's help. He's in the black costume, which was really cool to see. So there was that, and yeah, the way it ends was pretty great. You had that final the final showdown between Matt and Wilson Fisk, which was really epic, and just a nice, good old fight. So yeah, I will miss Luke Cage. It would have had a season 3. It should have had a season 3 because where it left off in season 2, I just felt like, man, the many ways you could play with that story of, him taking over, the gang war or whatever, him being like the head, just watching all the gangs or whatever. It was just, I really would have loved to see where that would go. I wanted to see where that would go because that really captured, all right, you've got this bulletproof guy and he's taking charge of these gangs or whatever. So it's a bummer. I mean, yeah, Jessica Jones season 2, I never watched. I did watch the first 2 episodes, and after that I was like, it's not hooking me in the way I would like it to, but whatever. Iron Fist, I think it was in like 8 episodes before I just sort of gave up on it. I mean, definitely an improvement on season 1 for sure, but overall, I'm just like, there's no point of finishing it if it's just canceled. And plus, there's, I don't really care how it solves that season or whatever, so that's just me. But, Defenders was good. I really enjoyed Defenders a little bit. Yeah, how they all work together was nice, but overall, I think the shows that I'm going to miss are the ones that I actually like, which was Daredevil being one of them, being the highest one, and then Punisher, and then Luke Cage. Like, those were the 3 that I truly enjoyed. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer, but at the same time, I'm like, I mean, it is what it is. It was a good run, I was very interested in each show. I'm surprised that I watched all of Iron Fist season 1, even though I just couldn't have cared less about it, but somehow I managed to go through it all. But yeah, that's just me. So, Marvel Netflix, thank you for your service, and, you will always be remembered, and you always will be there. And, I think if I had to go back and rewatch one of the shows, it would definitely be Daredevil, because I felt like each season just topped the previous season, So, I mean, I remember when season 3 of Daredevil was coming out, I was like, I don't know how you top, season 2. 'Cause season 2 was just, they had half of the season was about Frank Castle, then half of the other season was about the Hand and Elektra and all that, and I thought it was beautifully woven together. And then, season 3 comes around, it's like, oh my god, like, they fucking one-upped it. Like, I don't know how. Just, at least to me anyways. But yeah, Marvel Netflix, I'm gonna miss that universe, but, it's a good run. I enjoyed it. And, I'm looking forward to whatever they do next, on the DC, no, not the DC, Disney Plus service or whatever. I'm hearing all this Loki series and Scarlet Witch and Vision series, which, alright, I'm interested, and, it's going to be all connected to the MCU, which is, it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if I'll actually pay for it. I'll probably get that free trial and then go from there, but then again, that Disney Plus service has Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and that I really want to see, because I'm like, a live-action Star Wars TV show. Like, I'm very curious to see how they pull that off. I'm very curious. But yeah, lots of good things coming. Alright, I don't know about y'all, but have y'all seen the recent trailer for Rocket Man, the Elton John biopic or fantasy biopic? I don't know what they're doing with it. It might be a biopic, it might be a fantasy movie, maybe it's a little bit of both. I don't know, but can we just talk about that second trailer? And it's just I've never heard, I've heard of Elton John, but I've never really listened to his music. And watching that trailer, I was just like, it very much had that Bohemian Rhapsody vibe to it. It's very fun, very energetic, and there's colors and all this business. And I'm just like, I am very excited to see, because it looks like it's going to be a good time. And Taron Egerton, I really dig him a lot as an actor. Granted, I never saw Robin Hood, unfortunately, because those trailers didn't really do it for me, and I was like, I like Taron, but I can't do it with the Robin Hood, because it just doesn't really appeal to me. But, I have no doubt that Taron Egerton is gonna really rock it as Rocket Man. I mean, Elton John. Like, I'm very curious. Like, I can't wait to see it, And it's coming out May 31st. I cannot wait for that. And the fact that he's doing he's actually singing the songs is incredible. I saw a little behind the scenes one where he's singing Tiny Dancer, and the people that work on the film are just talking about how he's doing his own, he's doing the songs and all that. And yeah, I am definitely looking forward to Rocket Man for sure. And you could say it's one of my anticipated movies of 2019. And since that's on my list, I might as well finish off, what other movies am I looking forward to in 2019? My list of 2019 anticipated movies, yes, there's the blockbusters, like, of course, Star Wars Episode 9 is on there. Of course, Avengers Endgame is on there. But, these other little movies that, well, I wouldn't say little, but still, these, I made a top 5 anticipated movies of 2019. So, like I said, Star Wars Episode 9 is definitely one of them. Avengers Endgame, because, I want to see how, a conclusion of Endgame, and, so far of what they've shown us, I gotta say, that Super Bowl TV spot had me like, I would really love to see some sort of like mini series of like, what does a world look like when half the population is gone? Like, I would love to see a little mini series about that, like the day-to-day life of trying to survive, and I don't know, that just really captures my imagination. I'm looking forward to Endgame for sure. But other movies, we got Jordan Peele's next movie, Us, and Get Out. I feel I'm still kicking myself for not seeing Get Out in the theater, because I gotta imagine that would have been a great movie to see in the theater. You know, with the sunken place and Get Out, that would have been something to see on the big screen. So, you know, if Get Out is ever playing at the theater again, I really hope I can get a chance to see it in the theater, because I would love to have that experience. And, you know, it's a great movie. Like, a great debut movie for Jordan Peele. And, you know, looking at Us, you know, the trailer for Us, I'm like, I am so interested to see how he plays with the whole, a little multiverse kind of deal. Like, you know, I'm very curious. What is Jordan Peele gonna do with that? Like, it's creepy and, you know, gives off that creepy vibes, and like something just doesn't sit right. I feel like watching this movie in the theater is gonna be really unsettling and whatnot. You want to talk about having major anxiety? I feel like this movie will definitely give you it. But yeah, I'm so curious to see his next film, and it's very creepy. No idea what it's gonna be about. Like, I'm just curious. Another movie I'm looking forward to 2019, and it's gonna be here soon in May as well, and that's John Wick 3. Hopefully it's got to be the conclusion of the John Wick series, because I don't know where the second movie left off. You know, going to the third movie, every assassin is after John Wick. They want that bounty. Like, I can't wait to see how this turns out, because John Wick, the first movie, you know, is a very, very brutal movie, and the action is just beautifully crafted. It's just beautiful to watch Keanu Reeves kick ass and whatnot. And I love the character of Keanu Reeves and his whole motivation in that first movie. You know, you're already on board with it. You know, second movie comes out, and it's like, it's good. I wouldn't say it's better than the first movie, but it's still a damn entertaining movie, that's for sure. And if this third movie can live up to, you know, is as good as the second one or better than the second one, because I don't think this third movie will be better than the first one. I don't think so. But this third movie, hopefully it's on that same level of John Wick 2, where it's fun to watch him kick ass and see all these like crazy kills that he does with and whatnot. Like, you've all seen the photo where the set photo where he's on a horse and he shoots a guy in the face. Like, I am so looking forward to seeing that scene, that's for sure. But it just looks bad shit nuts. Like, you could tell he wants all the guns. He wants all of them. He's ready to go to war, and I'm curious to see how exactly does he like get out of this situation. Like, I'm sure there's like thousands of assassins coming at him. It's just like, how do you end this movie? It's very much like Avengers Endgame. Like, I don't know. I couldn't tell you how Avengers Endgame is going to end. Like, they're not showing us anything. Like, you know, you just don't know what's going to happen. You know, with John Wick, it's like, I don't know how you end this movie if you have every assassin coming at him. Surely he's got to kill somebody just to end the contract or whatever. I don't know. But I am definitely looking forward to John Wick 3. And, you know, my last anticipated movie of 2019 is Quentin Tarantino's next movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is set around the Charles Manson deaths, if that's what I read right. So I'm very curious to see what he does, because so far I've enjoyed every single Tarantino movie that I've seen. You know, and it's always fun. It's always fun seeing a Quentin Tarantino movie. Honestly, I mean, I don't, especially if you're into like high, like very brutal violence or whatever. Definitely, Tarantino is one of those like directors, you know, you would probably love. But, you know, when I hear this, the plot of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a hyper-violent kind of movie. It doesn't seem like it. But who knows? Maybe it's going to be like another fantasy type, Elseworld, kind of makeup of like this history like they did with Inglourious Bastards. Like, I am so curious. I'm so curious. So yeah, those are my top 5 anticipated movies to come out. So yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Avengers Endgame, Us, John Wick 3, and Star Wars Episode 9. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely more, obviously, and I could list them off, but it's like, it's pretty much the generic stuff that we're all looking forward to and whatnot. Like, yeah, I'm looking forward to Shazam because it's like, I'm with it. Like, I've only seen one trailer, haven't watched the TV spots, but I know those TV spots will be definitely coming. I will definitely see those once I'm like watching the CW shows or whatever. But yeah, 2019 seems like a good year, and yes, I'm looking forward to Captain Marvel as well. I'm actually seeing that next week, and I don't know what to expect. Like, I don't know what, I mean, there's really, when I go to see these movies or whatever, I don't really have an expectation. All I expect is make my money's worth. That's all that matters, To me, it's like, show me, take me on an adventure. Just make sure my money is worth it. And with Captain Marvel, like, I have no doubt when it comes to Marvel movies, like Marvel Studio movies, my money is already worth it. Like, even something like Ant-Man and the Wasp, I still enjoyed it. Sure, it was meh, but at the end of the day, I felt like, yeah, I got my money's worth, that's for sure. I mean, I was highly entertained, that's for sure. So, I am so looking forward to Captain Marvel, and it's just like, I don't know what to expect, honestly. I know it's set in the 90s, all this business, but I'm excited to see it. I'm excited, like, oh my god. And then, of course, Spider-Man Far From Home, I can't wait to see that. We got Mysterio and the bowl-shaped glass helmet or whatever it's called. It's like, I love the fact that we live in a world where we got Black Manta. We got the dome Black Manta helmet. And, just thinking about, watching Black Manta kick ass, I'm just like, how does he turn his head? Like, does he, I mean, I don't know I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, 2019, just, it's going to be another year where I spend my money on these movies and whatnot, and I cannot wait. Alrighty, so Doom Patrol is a thing. I mean, so Doom Patrol is out on the DC Universe app, and I'm sure I've talked about Titans already on this podcast, but to recap, I felt like Titans overall was just, I just felt like the whole mature adult theme or whatever, just, I didn't want that, but then again, fuck what I want, right? Like, they're gonna do the best show that they can, and to me, I was just like, this just doesn't feel right at all. So, but yeah, in any event, so the next show that they have was Doom Patrol, and I gotta say, I always love watching something new, like a new comic book IP, whether it's a movie or show, and I have no clue, I have no history with the said characters. And, so going to Doom Patrol, I've heard the basic origins of each character, and watching the first episode, and the first episode is pretty much an introduction to all the characters, and I gotta say, I really dug it. It's not like Titans where it's very dark and brooding and dark and very mature and adult. I mean, Doom Patrol is very adult, It's still got the curse words, and adult theme suggestives and whatnot, but it's fun. It's very weird. It's kind of like Legion, but not like too over the top crazy where, you're watching and you feel like, I'm lost. What's going on? It's nothing like that at all, but it's weird. It's good kind of weird, I feel. And, while I will say, I wouldn't suggest getting the DC app just for Doom Patrol, because if you're getting the DC app just for the shows, I would say, just wait for a couple more to come out. Well, then again, we do have Titans, which finished like months ago. Then we have Young Justice, which Young Justice is, I forget how how mature that show is, and now that it's on a streaming service, they can go really mature, and it's woof. But still, Young Justice is great, and then you have Doom Patrol. So you got 3 shows right there. I would say, let it. I don't know what the next DC streaming service show is, but I would say, wait till like 4 shows are out and then go to it, because, if you're just watching it for the shows, there's no point of, dropping all that money monthly or yearly. I mean, you could do yearly. They do offer that. So, but I don't know. Just wait till 4. I wouldn't say get the DC app just for Doom Patrol, even though it is good. And right now, I believe they're on episode 4. It's still good, but I just say, for me, I would suggest just wait on it. Just wait on it, But if you want to, if you're really curious about Doom Patrol and you have no knowledge of Doom Patrol at all, I would say go for it. Just go for it. But yeah, Doom Patrol is very good. It's very weird, and it's very great. I mean, I love it. I love how they're doing Cyborg. I mean, they hinted, they touched on his origin. I'm curious if they are going to reference that, he's made up of a mother box, or if they're just going to do, his dad just had this technology and used it on Victor to help him heal or whatever and whatnot. Because that's kind of what it felt like. A little spoilers, but they do show his origin, but they never reference if, he was built up by a mother box or not. And if not, that's fine, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, you're name dropping The Flash, Batman, and Superman, these shows. Why not do that origin of Cyborg? Maybe they will. I don't know, but other than that, I'm very much enjoying the show right now. And it's great. It's a lot of fun, but it is weird. It's not weird where you can't keep up with it. But yeah, it's very good. And yeah, so Doom Patrol is a thumbs up for me. I mean, it's certainly better than Titans, even though, I very much had an expectation of what I wanted Titans to be. It's like, I just wanted that fun, like, team up or whatever. Not like the whole brooding characters or whatever, and dark and mature. And I didn't want that. That's not... I mean, again, maybe somebody, I guess, the showrunners or the developers thought, we had the Teen Titans cartoon, and those people are now adults. Maybe they want to see, a darker version of the Titans or whatever. And it's just like, I don't know. I mean, I always say, if you're going to adapt whatever, if you ever need like source material, like if you ever need to get inspiration, I always say look at, the animated stuff. The Bruce Timm and Young Justice and all that business. I would always say go look at that stuff, like, because it's all about character. And yes, while the shows are about character and stuff, it's still like there's got to be some sense of like hope in there, I mean, I hate to be one of those people who's like, I'm not saying, I'm one of those people who's like, I don't like dark and gritty, but for me, it's more of like, it's more of the character you're doing it with. And, you know, a Dick Grayson, I can't see, you know, when I think Dick Grayson, I think hopeful, very, you know, he's got a mouth, he likes to talk back or whatever, and, you know, that's Nightwing. And, you know, the only dark character in the Teen Titans, I guess, or whatever, you know, of all the team members, the darkest character I feel is Raven. Everybody else is like, they can be that. I mean, okay, Starfire has issues or whatever. She can't really remember, and, you know, she teams up with the Russians or whatever, and it's whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, come on, guys, you just I don't know. Then again, maybe if they did do it my way, maybe it wouldn't be as good, but whatever. But yeah, anyways, Doom Patrol, definitely worth the watch, I would say. So yeah, in other news, going over to the Marvel side, so apparently Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart win a Guinness World Record for playing Marvel heroes for like a number of years, and to that I say, well deserved, I feel. I mean, definitely, because you look at Logan, it's just like, what a way to end that movie, you know, how they basically killed off Professor X and Wolverine in that movie. So, I mean, the movie was great, and to end it on that, it's just like, that was a perfect send-off. I mean, what a perfect movie to go out on. And, yeah, definitely well-deserved, I feel. So, yeah, that's all I gotta say. I just gotta say congrats. That's exciting. I mean, I feel like that might be taken up soon, maybe, by Robert Downey Jr., maybe? I don't know. Doubt it, but then again, you never know. Anyways, so Obi-Wan. So, you know, I've always said, you know, with the Star Wars brand, you know, I would like to see something different. Like, of all the Disney Star Wars movies, my favorite one has always been Rogue One, because you've got these brand new characters, and, you know, we're not rehashing, we're not going back to old characters, whatever. I don't want to see a young Han Solo movie. I mean, I'll watch it, but who the hell cares? But then again, there are some people who do care about seeing a young Han Solo, like my dad, for example. But yeah, I don't want to see a Yoda origin movie or a Boba Fett, what happens after he gets out of the Sarlacc pit or whatever. But there's always been that one character that I would love to see on the big screen, and that's Obi-Wan. So the news is a rumor, actually, by, StarWarsNews.com? I believe that's who reported it first, that said they're looking at Obi-Wan as being a miniseries for the Disney Plus streaming service. And to that I say, you know, a miniseries? Yeah, why not? You know, I would prefer to see it as a one and done type of movie, but as a miniseries, you know, I like it. I like the idea, actually. I mean, you could tell so much, you know, in those like 6 or 5 episodes, whatever you want to do with it. I'd be down for it. I would love to see it. I mean, yeah, give me a miniseries of Obi-Wan Kenobi on Tatooine, just, you know, doing whatever, you know, just feeling like, but I do want to see that, like, again, the feeling of, like, Obi-Wan being basically raised in the Jedi Order, and, you know, has always had this ideology, and, you know, what happens when all that is taken from him? Like, what happens when he thinks he's the last Jedi for now, of course, but what's that do to him? Like, what's his mentality like? Is he, I would imagine he'd be broken, and he's just like, he can't really relate to anyone. Like, he can't tell his story, he can't train anybody, because if he does, he's automatically a target. But yeah, as a miniseries, I would love to see them tackle that aspect of it, of his struggle and trying to resist not being the Jedi that he is. I mean, he can be, but at the same time, he knows it's not time for that yet. Like, he can't. So yeah, Obi-Wan as a miniseries, bring it on. Bring it on. So yeah, going from Obi-Wan to back to Marvel. X-Men Dark Phoenix had a trailer. I gotta say, that first trailer, honestly, I totally forgot about the first trailer, but this second trailer, I gotta say, it's just like, I'm not feeling it. I'm definitely with the crowd who doesn't feel like this movie looks like anything. It just looks meh. I mean, I am looking forward to seeing, James McAvoy as Professor X and Michael Fassbender as Magneto. I mean, those two are, I feel, was like a perfect cast. Like, they're just great to watch those characters. And this new X-Men Dark Phoenix trailer just doesn't really hook me or whatever. I will say, I think the only part I liked about the new trailer was when Jean Grey is crushing Magneto's head, basically crushing his head with his helmet or whatever, and Magneto's facial expression, just scared out of his mind, just like can't fight back at all. Like, I really dug that a lot. But overall, I just felt like meh. And I also love how they basically pretty much confirmed that Mystique dies in this movie, which is like, well, I mean, makes sense. I mean, I don't think anybody really cared about her character all that much in these movies. But I will say, I did see an international trailer, which was apparently leaked, and somehow I saw it, and I gotta say, why wasn't that the second trailer? Because that gave more oomph to it. That really hooked me in more, Sure, I mean, they showed, how Jean Grey gets the dark entity, the Dark Phoenix, the entity or whatever, inside her, and, they go to space, and it just had more weight and scope to it, and I really dug that a lot. And I was just like, I was so confused why that wasn't the trailer, because that had more, power to it. Like, that had more, all of it. It had the excitement in it. It had me like, okay, maybe this isn't going to suck as much as I think it would. But, again, it is pretty much X-Men The Last Stand minus the mutant cure and the Brotherhood, wanting to kill the mutant cure or whatever. I forget, So yeah, Dark Phoenix, I'm still going to see it, but I don't really have any excitement for it. So that's just me, but what I am excited for is Hellboy. And they had a new trailer. And for me personally, I liked the first trailer. I really did. It was the first look at, this movie. And this second trailer, specifically the Red Band trailer, I dug it. I really did. I love David Harbour as Hellboy. I am so digging it. Very much Hellboy-esque. I'm looking forward to his take on it. And this new Hellboy movie. And it's going to be brutal and very dark and, monster movie. Like, it feels like a horror monster movie, and it looks good. I really dug it. I mean, I can't wait. And it's coming out in April, which blows my mind, honestly. It really does, and I can't wait. Yeah, and he looks great as Hellboy. He looks massive, more so than Ron Perlman's Hellboy, but hey, I think it's going to look great. And the fact that he's got the horns and the crown, and he's riding a dragon, and just talk about metal. Like, that's some metal ass shit right there, and I am looking forward to it. So yeah, Hellboy couldn't get here. Maybe I should read up on some Hellboy comics. Maybe I should, because I remember when the very first Ron Perlman Hellboy was coming out. I was so obsessed with it. I was like, oh, I love Hellboy. I remember, I remember on a school bus or whatever, when it would be like, whenever I would go to school, I would write Hellboy on the the window of the school bus, and because I just loved Hellboy, I was very obsessed with it. So, and it still does kind of sting that we'll never see the third installment of Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy. It would have been nice to see how he would have concluded it, but I mean, if you can't make it, don't let that property just sit there. You could always, reboot it, and that's what they're doing. And it's better to have more Hellboy than no Hellboy at all. So yeah, I am definitely looking forward to Hellboy. Can't wait for it. Definitely looking forward to it. I mean, I love the cast. This unknown cast to me, it's great. Looks fantastic, very spectacle, and it's got these monsters and blood and all kinds of business. It looks fantastic. So yeah, God, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Alrighty, well, I mean, that's all the topics I got for this week. Hopefully next week, next Wednesday or Friday, I'm not sure when, I'm gonna talk about the Umbrella Academy, and I'm gonna have a very special guest. Hopefully, I'll have a very special guest with me to talk about the Umbrella Academy. I did watch it, and I'll just say, I'd recommend it. I'll go more into it, but yeah, next week, talking about Umbrella Academy with a special guest. But yeah, so that's it for this episode. I'm Tristan, and you've just been spoiled.